Hello, hello, hello. Let me see how much persons are on my live. Good day, everyone. 1 second, let me see how much persons are on my live. Just comment down below if you are here. Welcome to my channel. I'm so excited. Like, this is so wonderful. All right. Great. So I'm seeing everyone. I am seeing everyone. So good day, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Shade Vassal, and welcome to Shad's Lifestyle. I know this is going to be an episode because I think this is needed. So today, I just want you to like this video as you come on and comment down below the questions that you would love for us to answer. As we say, we have the big bad interview guru, Sharmony Kynes, here with us to answer all your questions for free, right? So today, just ask the questions. Let me know if you're applying for an entry job or you have your degree or you're applying from your safety subject, right? Um, so let me just introduce Charmonique to you guys because I know that you guys need to know about her. Now, firstly, I want to tell you why we need this, why this live was needed, right? So you know that I was recently featured on TVJ at Sunrise, sharing how the pandemic affected, us as university graduates in finding jobs. But at the same time, I saw a need where persons don't know how to write a proper resume because you know that at 2021 now everything well, the latest edition, everything change up. And so persons don't know what the HR managers, nice, what the HR managers are looking for nowadays in resume writing. And this is why I call this live session, right? Now, Charmonique is a passionate writer and entrepreneur. She founded her business, The Interview Guru, and I will tell you more. She will tell you more about that. So she has a Instagram page with about 2 to 3 thousand followers, and that is where I actually saw Charmony because I just went all in and took her free advice. And you know that it's a paying company as well, so you can pay her to do your resume, right? And she she was inspired by the positive effect that removing writing barriers had on her community and the people around her. With extensive experience in career development and 5 years of an interview coach, she draw on her ability to identify her client's strength and experience to help the illustration to help illustrate it on paper, right? Since that she started her business in 2018, Sharmonique has empowered thousands of professionals locally and internationally. And so she is here to tell us about resume writing and developing, right? So welcome,
Okay.
Sharmonique. I just want
Thank
you to
you
go
so
ahead.
much. You
I
hearing
just
me,
want to,
Shani?
yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, awesome. Thank you
First,
so
I
much
just
for
want
having me.
First, I just want you to introduce yourself, your Instagram page, what your service offers, and just tell me a little bit about your business.
Okay, so I'm Charmony Kind. Many persons know me on Instagram as social underscore commentator. You'll see me all over the place, but trust me. So my business is really about resume writing, sponsorship writing, scholarship writing, helping persons to craft a cover letter, helping persons to navigate the job space, the job hunting process, helping persons with interviews and stuff like that. So my job is really to get persons ready for the working world. If it is that you have an upcoming interview and you're not really sure how to perform or navigate within that space, I also help with those type of stuff. I'm big on resume writing because I feel it is very, very important, and it's the first point of contact that employers have with you before they see you face to face. So we try our best to help our clients with writing their resumes because we realized that there was a pain point in the industry when resume writing is concerned. Many persons would have impeccable qualifications, but where the resume writing is concerned, it was all over the place. So we did our research. My partner and I, we did our research and we pulled together, and that's how we really formed our business.
Nice. Thank you so much for that. That is where I actually met you, and I just thank you for all your tips that you provide to us. And most of the things that I know now, it started this year because I did not know that objective is no longer, needed. All right. So first thing, what is a resume? Now, for me, my definition of resume is that it is a branding. It is your branding, the first thing that a HR manager will look
Right.
and say it is shoddy, right? So, in your words, what is a resume and why is it important that we know how to write resume?
All right, so the resume is just a piece of paper with all your academic qualifications, the places you have worked or the places you are currently working now. It just showcases your skills, your background, the highlights of your educational background, and where you have worked and where you're planning to go. So a lot of persons always question what is the difference between a resume and a curriculum vitae. No, those things are different. So a resume is just a snapshot. So for somebody who is probably just leaving high school or just leaving college, they consider to have a resume because they're not
Okay,
really in the work world. So they have limited work experience, limited qualification. A curriculum vitae, as the name suggests, curriculum vitae is a long course of life. So somebody like a lecturer would have a curriculum vitae, extensive work experience, extensive qualification. So a lot of persons need to understand the difference where resume and CV is concerned. So the resume is just a snapshot of your qualifications and your work experiences. It shouldn't be 3 to 4 pages long. It should be 1 to 2 pages. I must say that because when these resumes touch the employer's decks, they only take like 7 seconds to run over what is in front of them. So be careful
seven.
of how
Wow,
you write your resumes, guys.
wow, 7 seconds just to look at it and determine whether or not they want to shortlist you,
Right.
right? So, first and foremost, I posted on my Instagram page questions, a little quiz. And most of the questions that I ask is, um, does objectives need to be on your resume? So I want you to tell me what is the format for your resume? What is the format, like the headings going down? One
Ah,
second. Just like the video and comment where you are from and what are the questions that you would like Sharmani to answer. So
the format.
the format?
Well, for me personally, there is no standard, there's no set format for writing a resume.
Okay,
It really depends. Because many persons, you will find out that they're applying for different positions, they're applying for different fields, and they're different type of resumes. So there is no exact format. You have resumes that speaks only to your skill sets. You have resumes that speak only to your work experiences. You have resumes that are targeted resumes, and targeted resumes are, for instance, and I'm going to give you guys an example. Say you're applying for a social media manager position, right? And you have extensive work experience in social media, but you also have experience in administrative or clerical area. The targeted resume would allow you to put only the experiences you have in social media management. So if you're applying for a social media manager position, you don't want to put your work experience in administrative or clerical area because the resume should be targeted to the position that you're applying for. So that's a targeted resume, and a lot of persons did not know that. So if it is that you specifically want that position and you have extensive experience in it, then you can definitely put only that type of position. So there isn't a set standard for writing resume. Everybody has their different ways. If it is that you are applying for a regular job, employers like traditional resumes. So you will find out that they will tell you, put it in black and white, let it be plain, because sometimes what happens and what many persons don't know, even when you're applying for work overseas, your resume is not just sent to an email and it reaches the employer's desk. It goes through an ATS system. It's called an application tracking system. So before it even reaches the recruiter, it goes through a software and it scans your resume. So if your resume is not up to par, if it does not meet a certain criteria, if the grammatical part of the resume is off, if you have typos, then you know you're automatically out the door. So persons have to be really careful of that. Many persons don't know that ATS is what many employers are using now because it lessens their job. So all the resumes are scanned through the ATS system and then it filters out what is not necessary. So depending on the type of job that you're applying for, that's where the formatting comes in. So you can pick a different format. You have business format, you have professional format, you have media format, you have different type of career format resume. So there isn't a set format. You have traditional resumes that you can just do in black and white. Then you have non-traditional resumes that could be in the form of a video, like what we are doing now. You talk about your experiences and you send them a video clip of it. So that would be a video resume. So that's a non-traditional format of a resume. And you find that many persons in the creative industry like myself do those type of stuff. So if you want to be a graphic designer and you have experience in graphic designing, you want to ensure that your resume will pop with colors. So many persons will tell you, oh, don't use colors on your resume. But if I'm a graphic designer and I want to showcase my portfolio, I mean, the person who is hiring me is going to want to see exactly, let me just see this person resume. How do they formulate stuff? What is the layout? They will look for stuff like that. It gives you a competitive edge. So again, it really matters the type of industry you're going in that will determine the formatting of your resume.
Okay. So in a typical resume, what are some of the headings like personal statement, professional
Right.
statement?
So you
um,
will have the professional statement. So the professional statement, and I just want to touch on that a little because the professional statement of the resume is similar to the objective, but it is not, right? It is not the objective. So I personally, for me, if I'm applying for a secretarial job, my professional statement would gear towards a secretarial position. So I want to ensure that I don't have a general professional statement. It has to be geared towards a secretarial position. If you're applying for an accounting position, you want to ensure that the professional statement speaks to your accounting experience. So it's not a general statement for every type of job that you apply for. Ensure that it is specific. So ensure that your professional statement is tailored to the position that you're applying for. Again, that gives you a competitive edge over many candidates, and I've seen it many times before. Ensure that you're tailoring your resume to the job that you're applying for. Even the very skill sets on your resume. If it is that you're applying for a marketing job, what are marketers good at? They're good at designing, they're good at engagement on social media, they're good at analytics. You want to put those in the skill set parts of your resume to let the employer know that, hey, I am good in these areas, so these are my skill set. Even if you're good in other areas, remember you're targeting your resume for the specific position. Your resume should also, and I say this all the time, when you are writing your resume, ensure that you put your most current work experience and you bring it backwards. Many persons, they will put the experience that they will have last, and then the current experience that they have, they put it at the last of the resume, and that's not how it works. So if you are in a job right now as a social media manager, that's what you put first. The other job that you did before the social media manager job, you put that before the social media work that you put, and then it goes on before that. So it's not the other way around. So that's a chronological form of resume, and many
Right.
persons did not know that. So those type of things you have to look out for.
So you mentioned professional statement, your skill sets, which can be in the highlighted section, like a highlight topic,
Right.
right? And then you mentioned experience. Now
Yeah.
you want to go down to your educational topic heading,
I'm not
the
hearing you so clear.
the educational topic.
All
With
right.
that
So
one, with that one, I posted on my Instagram story again that if you are a degree holder, so if you
yeah,
graduated college, you have your degree, should we put our high school um, qualifications, our
like your
CXCs,
CXCs and your cave.
and even mention the high school? Because I know that some resume especially say that you don't have to put your degree, put your high school, because it will be like I graduated university. Obviously, I would have gotten my CXCs
Right.
because
You
that
should
was
have gotten your CXC. Well, for me personally, I don't think you have to put your CXC or your cape on it once you have graduated university. It's not something that I tell clients to put on their resumes if it is that they just graduated college and they have their degree. As you said, it would be obvious to the employers that you did your CXC and your cape, so therefore I'm just putting my most my most recent qualification, which would be my college degree. And it's just the same for your masters. You just put your masters and your bachelors on your resume if it is that you have it. But the CXC and the CAPE aspect of it, no, I don't think it's necessary. Only if it is that you are in college, then of course you can put your CXC and CAPE qualification. But after you have completed, then no, it's not necessary. And again, certain things really take up space on your resume. Remember, it's just a
yeah.
snapshot. It's 7 seconds. So anything that they can capture, because remember, they're looking on your education. Okay, this person has a degree in business management. I don't need to see your CXC. Obviously, you have your CXC. How did you get into college without CXC? If it is the, you
Right.
understand? So you just want to ensure that you have snapshot of these things on it. Trust me, when you work in HR, you understand these type of things. They don't have time to really go over 2 3 pages document. It doesn't work like that. And because we're in a technological era now, they're using softwares to really scan your documents. So you have to be careful of exactly what is going on it.
All right. So I thought that my comment section would have been full with comments. This is an interactive session. This section was made for you, which is my audience, right? So I want you to comment on what you want Charmin to answer, because remember, I know this is a free session, right? Some of the times when your resume is not up to standards, well, most of the time, that is the reason why you are not shortlisted for a specific post, right? And I've been having this issue. That's why it is well needed right now, right? So I've been having this issue where some person I wasn't shortlisted for most of the jobs,
Right.
right? And this was because of my resume. It wasn't up to date. Shamani, so you touch on professional statements, your skill sets or highlight. You touch on experience, the educational topic of the resume. What
Right.
about is it extracurricular curriculum activity, or what other part can be added to your resume?
Okay, so that one is quite interesting. Reason being, many persons always ask me, do you think it is necessary to add your your curriculum activities that you did in college, clubs that you maybe have access to in high school and stuff like that, only if it aligns with the job that you're applying for? If it is that you were in a leadership role in school or in college and you want to display that on your resume because you feel like that you're applying for a leadership position, then fine. You want to ensure that you tailor the resume to the specific parts. I've seen where persons put that they've played netball on their resume, and that is not necessary at all. Like, okay, you have played netball, how does this contribute, or how does this add to the job that you're applying for? You want to leave certain things off. If it is that you are in the 4-H club, if you had a meaningful membership in the 4-H club, fine. If you were a treasurer and you're applying for accounting job, you see how that aligns with the type of position that you're applying for. If you were a speaker and you're applying for a communication specialist position, you see how that aligns with the type of job that you're applying for. So if it is that it really and truly doesn't have any meaning or value to the job that you're applying for, you don't need to add it on your resume at all.
All right. So I'm seeing a question here. Monique says, what if you do not have any work experience? Say, for example, you're just leaving school. How do
Okay.
you write a resume that will actually captivate the HR manager and will secure a job spot? Because, most HR managers are looking for experiences. So how do you
Right.
navigate that?
All right, so that is why I always stress the importance of volunteerism, because even if you are leaving high school, naturally you won't have any work experience right off the bat. But it is important when you're in high school, when you're in colleges, get involved, volunteer, find
Right.
yourself in clubs, network, and meet. These things are so valuable and so important. They can go on your resume and it can help you to get the job. When you're applying for stuff like internships, they are looking for where you volunteered in high school, what type of position, how were you adding value to this club, or were you adding value to this team. They're looking for stuff like that. So the excuse of not having work experience is a no for me, because I personally believe that persons should be able to help build their nation. So get involved, do things that will help. If you have to go and volunteer somewhere, and ask the person that you volunteer to even put it on their take, if the employer call them, they can vouch for you, say yes, this person works for me. It is important to network, get out there, meet persons. These things can go on your resume. I worked for Mr. Johnson Brown in 2018 as his secretary, as his filing clerk. Those things work. They work. So get involved, guys. And I just want to say, Shade, the resume is one thing, but when you're sending out the resume, it's a completely different thing, because yes, you may have impeccable qualifications and your resume may be up to standard, but
Right.
remember, when you are sending an email with a resume, you have to understand email etiquette. You cannot just send a resume to an employer and the body of the email is blank. You understand? There's no subject line. You just send a resume. So therefore, I don't know who sent the resume, because some employers are not going to open an email with a blank email body. There's no name. So guys, when you're sending out your documents, ensure that your name is in the subject line and the position that you're applying for. Common courtesy, good morning, good afternoon. Please see attached resume for the position of X. I look forward to hearing from you soon. Regards, and you close the email. That's how you do it, right? And you follow up with them. That's how you get a response. Don't just send blank emails. I was outsourcing for a company the other day for a customer service representative post, and I got over 40 emails, over 50 emails, and
Right.
most of them I really had to tell them it's a no for me, because the email was blank. I didn't know what I was looking at. It was just a resume, and it was just all over the place. So guys, when you're doing that, ensuring that you're saying good afternoon, good morning, you're speaking with human beings. Remember, we're
True.
not robots, so ensure that you're doing those things.
And I think that actually shows how professional you
Yes,
are,
yes, it
right?
does.
Because recently I received a resume, and even when they saved the resume, they saved it as updated resume. And I'm
No,
like,
You
So they
said
saved it as updated resume. So what you said, you should ensure that your name, when you're saving your resume, your
yeah,
name is on it and the position that you're applying for is
yes,
also saved as that document. Yes.
I agree.
Um, I'm going to touch on another topic, right?
Right,
And it's about your address. When you are writing like your heading, I know that you are the first thing that should be on your resume is your name. And it
right,
should be the bold, it should be in bold and basically the biggest.
right. So
Yeah,
your
it should
name
be
should be right there so persons can see. But in terms of your address,
right.
um, very controversial. But let me just
Should
say,
should I have that in this lane turn
it's a very controversial
and
topic
the
because
directions as well?
yeah. All right. So many persons will add their address to their resume. For me, I don't. Reason being, for one, it's not a safe practice, right? And you have employers in this day and age, whether we want to believe it or not, they are very discriminative based on where you come from. So you want to ensure that you're just putting the parish and where you're from. So Kingston, Jamaica, St. Catherine, Jamaica, it is fine because then that will tell them that you're applying for the job within the area, or even not. It doesn't matter because persons drive and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you don't want to put your full address on your resume. Remember, your resume can literally end up anywhere at all. When you send an email with your document, remember we're in a technological era. You want to ensure that you're safe. I see persons put their apartment number, which gate
Right.
they're located, and stuff like that,
Wow.
and it is not safe, guys. It is not safe. Kingston, Jamaica is fine. St. Catherine, Jamaica is fine. Again, what employers focus on is your work experience, your educational background, and your skill sets. That is what they focus on. What value can you add to the company? They do. I'm telling you, they hardly care about where you live. They just want to know how you can add value to their company. So don't go out of your way to add your full address on your resume. It is not necessary and it is not safe. I don't do it and I don't tell my clients to do it at all.
All right. That's good. That's good. Also, so you mentioned that when you're writing your resume, you should tailor it to the job, right? So
Yeah.
what does tailoring your resume to a specific job, what does that mean? How do I
All
go
right.
about doing that?
So as I mentioned before, this is where the targeted resume comes in, right? So each job that you apply for, you want to ensure that your resume is tailored to it. Meaning, you're applying for an accounting position, you want to ensure that the professional statement of the resume speaks to your accounting experience. So you want to put something like 5 years experience as an accounting clerk, experience in payroll deductions, statutory deductions, accounts receivables, accounts payables, hoping to engage in your organization where I can see myself to upward senior management, stuff like that. So you want to tailor the professional statement to the accounting position. Many persons will do stuff like this. They'll put a general statement, something like passionate, hardworking college graduate seeking employment in your organization as an accounting clerk. No, you want to ensure that it speaks to the position. So you have experience in accounting, 5 years experience in accounting. You want to tell them the experience that you have and stuff like that. And also, the skill set part of the resume is important. So if you're applying for an accounting position, you want to put the skills that an accountant would have. So like tax filing, statutory deduction, accounts receivable, account payable, experience using accounting software like Peachtree. You want to use jargons and terms that employers or accounting managers would be familiar with. So the skill set part of your resume should speak to the accounting position. The professional statement should also speak to it, and also your work experiences. So tailoring the resume to the position is important, and that applies to any industry that you want to go into.
And what this means that every time you are sending out a resume for a specific job, you should
Right.
edit your resume,
Amen
right?
to that. Yes, you should. You should.
Because the answers that I've been getting on my Instagram quiz, most persons put they probably not only if all the relevant information is fine, then they'll just send it out. But what you're saying
No.
is that every position should be tailored. So every resume should be different. And I think that
Yes.
is one of the and I think that is one of the reasons why persons actually get shortlisted, who gets shortlisted from
I agree.
who didn't. What about your references? So in high school, I was taught that when you are sending out your resume, you should put your reference because you know that references is very important. So do I add it on my resume?
All right. So for references, I don't, and I keep saying I because other resume specialists does their own thing. I personally, and I've done my research also. I don't add the references on the resume directly. I put it on a separate page. So your professional references shouldn't be directly on the resume, but on a separate page. And many persons you will see they have references upon request. It is not necessary and it should not be there at all. If it is that you don't have the references up front, then you leave that aspect of it blank, because the truth is when you apply for jobs, and I always say many resumes will go through what is called an application tracking system. So you send your resume. Let's use an example. You send your resume to the employer, and your resume goes through the ATS system. What the ATS system does, it will send out an automatic message to the references that are on your resume. And if those persons don't respond, remember, if the ATS scanned you and says you're shortlisted and sends out an email to your references and they don't answer, then you don't get the job. So you have to be very careful. Your references should normally be on a separate page and not on the resume itself. And sometimes it's best to wait directly if the employer asks you for references, because sometimes it is not necessary. References are really given upfront. So references on request, when they ask you for it, it was not requested. So therefore, you don't need to put it on it. So when they ask you for the references, then you go ahead and give it to them, because at that point they will want to know that, hey, okay, I'm going to see if I can call the professional persons for this shortlisted candidate and see if we can get some more information. It tells you that they are interested in you, but don't just abruptly put the references on the resume. I don't think it's necessary. It's not a practice for me, and I don't tell my clients to do it. In fact, when I'm editing their resume, I remove it completely, and if they want to go and re-add it, then fine. But it's not something I do.
Understand. So here's a question from um, Christine Patrick, and she says, "What if you are a recent graduate with no experience? How would you tailor that resume?" As we can see, most of my audience they are recent graduates
Graduates.
like myself. So how do we spike? How do we get shortlisted? How do we get a job? Is it a case where if you don't really have any experience, you won't get a job and that's all? Or
No,
can be tailored for your resume?
there are many ways how to get jobs without I mean, for me, it is very unrealistic for employers to really expect graduates to really have, years of experience when they just leave college, which is why, again, I stress the importance of networking. Because if we're being honest, sometimes you have to know someone to get that
That's
job,
true.
right?
That's true.
So the reality is, and that is why I use LinkedIn. LinkedIn is such a professional space, and I ensure that I talk to everybody on there. I engage and I meet persons on there. There are so many human resources managers on LinkedIn. All you have to do is ensure that you're networking. You might never know. I'm telling you, Shadi, You go on LinkedIn and you see HR managers recruiting. You message them, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Sade Vassel. I'm a recent graduate of the University of the West Indies. My degree is majored in such and such. Let me know if I can add any value to your company. I'm willing to start from an entry level position and work my way up. They will reach out to you. I've seen it before. So graduates have to understand that there are many different ways that you can tackle the job market. You can actually walk into organizations, ask to speak with someone in HR, ask to speak with somebody in recruiting, because trust me, let me tell you, the way how this industry is running, you have to know someone. Sometimes you have to know persons. So even when you go out to career fairs and when you go out, meet people, introduce yourself, tell them that you're willing to work. If it is that you are doing your degree in journalism or media, the way how I started out, I really and truly, even talk up youth, many persons wonder how I have so many experience in media. I followed everything with Talk Up Youth. I followed Empress. I followed Diane Jackson Miller. I followed Archibald Garden. And when I started
Wow.
to engage with them, they realized this girl always liking my content. She's always commenting. And that is how I got my first television experience with Talk Up Youth. That's how I
Wow.
met Empress. Because I
Wow.
commented on everything and I liked everything. And I was always on her lives until my name became something that was meaningful to her. And I let my voices be heard. I commented on platforms and stuff like that. So you want to also reach out to persons within your field, reach out to persons within that are doing the same degree as you are, what was experienced with the same qualifications like you. So there are many ways. So it is not just not having work experience, it's networking. Put yourselves out there. Many of us are reserved. We just sit
Look
back and say,
here.
oh, I wonder if a job will
Look
just show
here.
up
You
because
touched
I
on
have
my
my degree.
topic.
Yes,
You're
so no,
touching on
guys.
my topic. That is one of my
Yes,
key pointers and advice to young people. Talk truth. You don't see how I'm enough. I'm
yeah,
all up now. I'm enough. Shade enough. Because as I said that I followed you on Instagram and so
yeah,
we know about LinkedIn. Last year I started, going on LinkedIn, building my profile on LinkedIn
yes,
where you have your experience,
yeah,
the places you went to and things that you
right,
were featured on. And so because of this advice, I started to make some posts and my journey and
right,
LinkedIn is just all about professionals. You see some big, big people. I saw
yes,
persons within my field
yeah,
with, and I was amazed to see that they were actually commenting on my post
yeah,
and my journey saying that girl, you know,
yeah,
so it is really good. And someone even reached out to me on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn is a platform just
yeah,
like Instagram, just
right,
like Facebook. What I realize is that us as young people, we need to know that professional, we need to know that LinkedIn is a place where, say every day I'm going to LinkedIn. I
yes,
checked my every day, I'm going to LinkedIn. I kid
yes.
you not, right? Um,
LinkedIn is a good space, very
So
good space.
true. So if you don't have a account, make an account. See how the person communicates on LinkedIn and
Yeah,
just work away from there because networking, that
important.
was actually going to be my next video. Networking, how to get internship opportunities. Because if you don't know my story, Sharman, I
Yeah,
actually got in the post that I am now, the position that I am in now, through internship. So I didn't
right.
get by a resume. I did my a legit volunteer at this organization. I was like, we don't need no money. And someone tell them, I say, look here,
Yeah,
you do not need any money. I just need some hours so that I can understand this organization. And that is legit what I did. And you can even call the organization and talk to the HR. It's simple.
yes,
It's simple, yes. So this is Melissa. She's saying, do you do training for LinkedIn? Um,
No,
Tell us more about
um,
LinkedIn with that.
no, I don't do training for LinkedIn. What I do LinkedIn optimization. So if you want to set up your LinkedIn profile, you know, um, take a professional headshot, you would send me. I will fix up your profile, connect you with my connections and stuff like that. But I don't do LinkedIn training. In terms of joining LinkedIn, many persons have a LinkedIn account and say they have not reached a mark or reached a goal or met anyone, and that's because they don't engage. For me, engagement is big. You have to talk, you have to comment. When
True,
somebody
true.
gets a position in a company, LinkedIn has an amazing algorithm that shows you Shade has just graduated from the University of the West Indies. Shade has just got a promotion in X company, and you want to congratulate Shade because Shade might be a human resource manager that is looking for an assistant or something. Engagement is key, guys. So you can't just create a LinkedIn account and just not do anything with it. It doesn't work like that. We are always on Instagram. We're always finding other ways how
So
to,
true.
to find ourselves in other platforms and commenting. We can do that if we want jobs too. So you have to know where you're directing your energy and where you really want to really put yourself so you can be able to get an opportunity just like anyone else.
So true. So true. All right. So back to look here. You know how much nuggets you just get right now? Look here. How much for that session here?
You're so
Charmonique.
surprised.
Like, thank you so much. All right, so back to resume writing, right? And I want to be more specific. When you are listing your job experiences, right? How do you do the bullet point on how to list your duties? Do you list your duties of the position that you are in now? So, for example, um, as you know, my field is in forensic science. So, would I put this is my duty?
No.
Um, I receive cases. Um, I chemical reagents. I make chemical reagents. How do I
All
formulate
right.
my bullet point?
So for listing what you do, right? Many persons have a big problem with this because I've seen more persons leave it blank. They just put the position that they are in and where they work. So if you're a customer service officer, customer service representative, you can always put stuff like answering calls on a daily basis, engaging with clients, responding to emails, and it's also important that you put numbers. So if you handle like 100 calls per day, if you're in sales, you can put close 30 sales every week. Stuff like that is important. So you want to put those when you're listing the specific duties that you're doing. Also, it is important that you put things in past tense. So if it is that you worked at a company, you don't want to put the jobs that you're listing presently. So you want to put, I worked in HR department doing filing. You put the ed at the ends of words because you work there. You're not currently working there, but you've done it in the past. So you're no longer answering telephone calls, you answer telephone calls. So stuff like that makes a difference.
And do you all you put the year as well, right? Do you put the year,
Yes, the year. You put the year that you worked.
the months and year, or just the year is fine?
The year is just fine. The year is fine.
Okay. So as you heard, Charmony says you have to put numbers. So process 100 cases per day,
Yeah.
answer 20 calls every day, and you even put it up to a week. So 100 calls every week. And I'm going to say, but you're efficient.
Yeah.
You are efficient, right? And I
So they
think
look and stuff like
that
that.
is the reason for it. Let me just any more questions? If you are new to my channel, this is a safe place to share your comments. This is what my channel is all about. It's Shad's lifestyle where truth meets purpose. And going forward, I will be doing more videos on how to write resumes, how to behave in an interview, how to prep for an interview. Let me get a question from Instagram that someone sent me. 1 second. All right. So on Instagram, oh, so we actually touched on that already. She was asking how should you put references on your
A
resume?
resume. Okay.
Any more questions? Melissa said the LinkedIn optimization. Oh, I guess you can go on her page. You
Yeah.
can go on her page. I'm going to paste the link in the comment section of Charmaine's page. So you can go on Instagram, follow her on Instagram. Trust me, a lot of tips. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for the tips you have provided. Right? This is okay. So L. Martin says, does applying for a job that you don't have a specific experience or degree for set up the applicant for disappointment? So basically what he's saying, he's applying for if you're applying for a job and it's not within your degree, you don't have any experience within that area, can you still navigate your resume to get into that job? Because look here, I've been outsourcing out of my science field, probably getting a entry level job. How do
Yeah.
I do that? Can I do that? Am I setting up myself for disappointment?
Okay, so if I'm being completely honest, maybe you are, and I say this because, right? If I'm an employee and I see that you're applying for a job that you have no experience in, your qualification does not align with it, I am going to automatically assume that, hey, what does this person can add to my company? What value does this person can add? For me personally, I would say take the plunge. Never doubt yourself. You can try. And if they do call you for an interview, then you can maybe explain to them that, hey, I'm trying to transition careers. I'm trying to move over into this sector, but I want to be able to get the experience in this industry, and I'm looking forward to work with people within the same industry where I can learn from them. So you can do things like that. I wouldn't advise you to send your resume and your application letter through an email. So you don't want to send out your documents like that. You can probably visit the company and ask to speak to somebody in that department, and then you can explain to them that, hey, I am transitioning careers, so even though I don't have the experience, I'm looking forward to work within an entry level position. And I want to stress entry level because that's where you would start, and then you would see your growth. You can upskill yourself from that
Right.
point. So even though you may think that you're setting up yourself for disappointment, you can be the most valuable person that that company has ever had. So always remain on the positive side of things, guys, no matter what. It might seem bleaky, but always try to put your best foot forward. So if you're sending out the email and it's not working, visit the company. Let them see that you're
True.
interested. Let them see. Go on LinkedIn,
Mm,
find the person name. Every recruiter is on LinkedIn. Let me tell you, all of them. HR
wow.
managers, that's their hub. It's like how young people use Instagram and they're all over Instagram. That's where HR managers and recruiters are. That's their work hub. So you want to go there, look for them, engage with them. If you don't have a premium account on LinkedIn, it is very important for you to do so. It's basically like $5,000 a month, just like your digital and your flow bill and your hair appointment money. You can make that investment, okay? LinkedIn offers free courses. So if you're not versed in Excel or management, if you're currently not doing your degree, but you just want to add some more skill sets on your resume, LinkedIn offers those stuff once you're a premium member, and it can
And
be
it's
added to
recognized.
your it can be added to your resume.
Okay. Okay. Nice. All right. Thanks a lot for that. Any more questions? Any more questions? Thank you guys for joining. I see those likes, I see those comments. And what you're saying is actually true. You know, even though it's Corona time, you can still visit the office, and it is important. As we say, you have enough of yourself. That's what,
Yes,
if I can testify about that, I'm enough of myself. I call the HR manager after a week. That Sharmanique advised me to call them when I send in my resume. I called them after a week and I said, "Hello, this is Shadi Vassal.
yes,
Can I speak to the HR manager?" When they transfer my call, "Do you have a resume for Shadi Vassal?" I'm just checking, you have to check up on your resume because some of the times it is not sent. Some of the times they do not receive it. And so when you make that extra call, they'll say, "Oh, yes, I have it in front of me." And that will actually give them an opportunity for them to just look at it and say, "This young lady just called, wonder if," so you actually need to call, do follow-ups, go to the office if it's necessary, as Charmonique says, in a case where you send out your resume or you're not too qualified for that job, but you can go and speak to someone, then you can do so, right? Charmonique, I think she's having some problem over there. But I just want to say thank you guys so much for joining. Let me know if you have any more questions. You can connect with me on Instagram and also follow my channel at Shad's Lifestyle. Next week, Sunday at 5 p.m., I will be having another live session because, as you know, we do resume writing, and next week I will be sharing on how to do interviews, how to proper prepare for an interview. And I will be having an HR manager, someone who is actually looking for employees. So what they are looking for, sorry, what they are looking for in in writing, right? What they're actually looking for. Oh my word. Oh no. So I will be having an HR manager coming on next week to discuss what you need to say. The popular questions ask, who, describe yourself, how do you answer that question, how you tackle it, how you actually, um, if you have, if you want to vote for increase in salary, or just know what your salary is all about. They'll tell you how to do that. And real HR manager coming on here, sharing with you what they look for when they go in an interview, when they interview potential employees, right? Um, Give me one, Charmony, the Charmony. So I just want to thank Charmony. I just want to thank Charmonique. I think she's having some difficulties. she's having some difficulties, and that's fine because we are actually wrapping up now. We're wrapping up now, and this was actually a good session. Thank you so much for joining. Comment down below on the different topics that you want me to discuss. My channel, I'll be going live every Sunday. I'll be getting professionals, probably I'll try and get lawyers or doctors or business persons in the business field to come and talk to you about their daily life or how they started or what is needed so persons can actually know their career field that they can go into. So please do stay connected with Shad's Lifestyle. Thank you so much for coming out, for joining. Let me know if it was beneficial and if you have learned something, and comment on my Instagram page so I can know which topics you need me to talk about. And my some of the things that I discuss on my channel, um, educational vlogs, how to become an entrepreneur, um, just basically anything that is beneficial to young people. So young people, Madea Funo, Shad's Lifestyle is here. I'll be discussing on networking because that is actually one of the important things to get through in life, right? So as I said with my journey, the post I am in now, I got it through internship. Internship as what Charmonique was speaking about, right? As Shamanique was speaking about, I will be saving this live so you can come back. And if you miss something, you can come back and know what was actually said today. All right. So thank you so much for joining my live. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and welcome to the family. And this is a safe place where we can share things that are informative or beneficial to young people. Thank you so much for joining. I see Danielle, you're late. Yes, I did mention the format for resume. She mentioned having a professional statement instead of your objective. She mentioned having your skill set. That is a topic that is supposed to be on your resume. So you can put skills or highlight. And then she mentioned your experiences. When you are writing your experiences, ensure that you list it in chronological order. And what that means is that you will list your most current job, right? Your most current position, and you work your way down. She also mentioned when you are doing your resume, it should be tailored. And what that means is that to the specific role that you are applying for. So guess what? If you're applying for something in the science field, right? You do not necessarily have to mention a job that was a part of a business side. Only way you want to mention that is if when you work in an area of business field, you had like position or did task such as customer service or management and writing reports. And you know that some of the times when you're doing a job, it can actually reflect on the post that you're applying for, whether it be in a science field or a business field. The same thing, you should have customer service skills. And so if you do that, then you can apply, you can mention that specific role, but do not mention anything that is not within the job description that you are applying for. She also mentioned when you do apply for these and you're putting on the experiences, ensure that you use the bullet points. So just write it. So just write down, say I work at dash place, and then you just skip it to the next section. No, you should mention your duties, and how you mention your duties is like like you don't just say this is what I do. You mention your efficiency. So I process 100 cases per day. I answered 30 phone calls at an efficient time, in a timely manner. So they know that, look here, and nobody normally I deal with, You're dealing with someone with structure who is efficient and know what they are doing, and they can actually come to the company and do well, excel. She mentioned that you should have your educational topic, right? That topic in the resume, educational point. And when you do your educational topic, mention your the school that you went to, the degree that you studied, and also, if you are a newly graduate like myself, then and you don't have enough experience, you can make mention of the modules that you do that aligns with your job, right? So if you're applying for a job that you probably do a module or two in university, mention the module. Mention the module because look here, you have to get shortlisted, you know. You have to navigate the resume to get shortlisted. So mention if you have like your degree, mention some just a little, like probably one or two or three of the modules that you do that is aligned with the job you are applying for. She mentioned not putting your references on your resume. Now, look here, as I say, I never know them things there. I did not know until I think this year. And remember, I told you that last year it was hard for me applying for jobs. And guess what? Probably those were some of the reasons why I didn't get through because I didn't know how to properly write a resume. And so get this knowledge. These are nuggets. I love that session here. Free session. This is what you have to pay for, right? I'm going to put her Instagram page in the I'm going to add her Instagram page in the comment section so you can find her on Instagram and just network with her. She mentioned about networking, and say I'm a big fan that girl well enough all up in a people business because you know that we have to network and find our way in volunteering, being a part of companies, and that is what I am going to talk about in my next videos to come, how to network, how to join different organizations, right? So in closing, thank you so much for staying on my live and do subscribe. Thank you so much. And I will just put her link in the comment section before I leave. So give me 1 second so I can copy her link and paste it in the comment section so that you can go and connect with her. Okay, here you go. And this is her personal page. Here is her personal page as well. You need to follow people. Go up on LinkedIn. Follow these persons. Follow these persons. Right? Copy. This is another link of hers. Sending you over to her page so you can go and just socialize, right? All right, so next week at 5 p.m., I'll be having a live session with the HR plug. She has a big platform. You will see the posters coming out. She will be discussing the topics on how to prepare for an interview. She'll talk about the question them with them asked in an interview because she's an actual HR that's her profession. And so she will tell you what HR managers look for when you go in an interview. All right. Thank you so much for joining. Big up, big up, big up. Let me hear up my people them. All right. I see you, Melissa. I see Lina Soar. I see Plus Money, TI Plus Money. I see Christine. I say digital moment with Terina. I say Daniel. I say Shania. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and goodbye. Bye, my beautifuls. Bye, my handsomes. Enjoy your Sunday. Eat up your Sunday dinner. All right, later, later. Thanks again. Bye. Bye.